Buongiorno you lot, how you all doing? It's a lovely Sunday afternoon / evening. Got random things just falling off the shelves and everything like that. And got a little job coming up where I've got to use a hedge trimmer. Hedge trimmer, hedge cutter thing. So there it is, that's the one I'm going to have to use. I've got an electric one, but I thought I'd use the petrol one. I don't use it that often. But it's been sat there now for, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 years. Hasn't been started up, ain't done nothing. Nothing's happened to it. So thought I'd have to get it out and make sure it still runs alright. It's not got any petrol in it, but that's alright. I've got some I can put in it. Might have to lean it out a bit because the petrol that I've got is extremely rich. So I'll stick a bit of neat petrol in there and then we'll get away and try and get it to run. But while I'm here, I'm going to start up a few other things as well. While I'm at it, I might as well. Got a couple of chainsaws to start up, a strimmer, other bits and bobs. Just make sure we're all still up and running and, you know, and happy. Righto, you lot. There's a bit of petrol there, but it's really, really rich. Because so there's a bit of neat petrol there. The reason it's really rich is because I siphoned it out of a motorbike, and I was running it rich because I like to smoke. But I don't need it to be that rich anymore, so before I do that, I'm just going to lean it out a bit. All this nonsense about all this E10 crap that you've probably been hearing about if you're in England, because now we've got E10 unleaded petrol, and you know, a lot of people are panicking about it. There's a lot of scaremongering in the news, you know, saying about, oh, you better check your cars and all that, make sure that they're able to be running on it. It's all a load of rubbish. There's countries that have been running on petrol that have far more ethanol content in it than E10 now for many, many years. And you know, the level of ethanol in E10 is nothing to worry about whatsoever. So I mean, you've obviously got to make sure that your petrol lines, your hoses and all that are in good condition, but I really wouldn't worry about like the level of it. It's still quite rich, but see, it's blue because it's got racing. I say racing, it's all the same oil, but I think it was, I can't remember the brand of oil, but it's Proline or it might have been Note oil. Can't remember. Really expensive motocross 2-stroke oil it's got in there. Splashed out on it about 6-7 years ago. Mixed up a load of fuel, put it in the bikes, and that's where it stayed. It didn't evaporate, funnily enough. I thought it would have done, but it didn't. So let's see what happens. Let's give it a good old prime. I see it going through. Stick it on. Look, there's a bit dusty. There's start and choke. Ding. Run. We've got a little button here that says 1 for run. Throttle seems to be working all right. Let's see what happens. It's always been a bit stiff, this edge trimmer, because it ain't really running properly. Well, I never used it enough to run it in. Got a leakage. Got a leakage coming out somewhere. Wouldn't surprise me if we didn't have any spark or something like that. Oh, hello, we've got something. Oh, we're gonna go. Oh-ho! Whoa, wrong hand. Not very happy, is it? I would say, going by the behaviour, that there's a bit of a blockage in that carb somewhere. We'll run for a bit and then it burns it off and it can't get enough in quick enough. But we'll let it run for a bit. It's been a number of years since it's ran. It was left with a full tank of petrol right to the brim, and that's all evaporated. So there's probably quite a lot of oil stuck in there and all sorts. But I'll let it run for a bit, let it burn it off. I might leave it outside running for a little bit while I get the other chainsaw out, and we'll get the chainsaw started up as well. Lovely jubbly. If it will tick over long enough to leave it outside. I don't think it will. Might need to sort it out now. I think it's too low. It needs to be heightened up a bit. We'll sort it out. Little bastard. Right, number 2. I tell you what I miss. Let me just tell you what I miss quick. I tell you what I miss. I miss because at the moment we're on, I think we're on the 12th or 13th or 14th of November. Yeah. 2021. I miss the days when, right now, it was cold. I mean, I know I'm wearing this. I've got a t-shirt on underneath, right? I'm actually sweating. I'm going to take this off in a minute. But I was out here today, and I was sweating like an absolute. It was like a summer's day. I was in shorts and t-shirt, right? I know you're going to say it's climate change and all that rubbish. I'm not interested in any of that. But I'm old enough where I can remember. I caught the end of it when we had good winters, you know, actual snow. I mean, there's videos on my channel where there was snow. I'm starting the cars up in the snow, you know, brushing the thick layer of snow off, or I say thick, about an inch thick. I know that's not thick to some of you lot in America and Canada and all them other countries, but brushing the snow off the bonnet anyway to lift it up, to have a look, to get the battery going and all that kind of stuff. Starting up everything in the cold. You know, having to unfreeze the doors and all that kind of stuff, and frozen window wipers. I mean, we haven't even had a frost this year yet. And normally by this time of the year, everything's frozen. And that's sort of the last 5 years we haven't had a proper winter. And I proper miss that. You know, I mean, we've never had it, well, not in my lifetime. Obviously, there has been in the past. And those of you that are 40, 50, 60, 70 years old will remember when it was cold enough that your cars wouldn't start. But I've never had it that cold before. My cars have always started up, but, you know, it's never been that cold. About -10 is the coldest I've ever seen in my lifetime in this country, -10. But yeah, no, I just miss it all, man. The coldness when you can see your breath. I've never, not even been that cold. I mean, I think the coldest we've had is about 3 degrees, 2 or 3 degrees. Is the coldest we've had this year so far. We haven't had a proper frost. There's been a little bit of ice on the window in the morning, but not a proper frost, you know, where you've actually got to scrape it off or do whatever. But I miss that, doing the cold starts and all that. Yeah, Is it whatever it is, climate change, whatever? I'm not interested in what it is. I'm just saying I miss that. You know, some of you lot in your countries have still got that. You know, but in England we haven't. It's hot. I think now it's 13 degrees. And I know why am I wearing this? I don't know, but it's just like a bit of habit. You know, in the winter you walk out the door, you put a coat on. That's the way. It's just a habit. You know, I'm a weirdo like that. I don't need it. Like I say, I'm sweating. I could just take this off and be in my t-shirt. It's about 13 degrees, I think, last time I looked. You know, what the time is it now? It's I ain't got a watch on. It's about 6:30 in the evening. So anyway, oh, that spider's come back. Look, oh dear, look, he's not very happy with me. I just disturbed his home. I just had to move a load of felt that I had, and he popped out, run up my arm. He did. I blew him off my arm, and he's crawling out. He's coming back over to me. And he's like, "What? You ain't doing that to me, you!" Right, let's get rid of him and then start up this chainsaw. I don't mind spiders, don't get me wrong, but I don't like them when they creep up on you, you know. So I'd rather get rid of him. Anyway, we've got Husqvarna 236 X Torque. Some of you may remember when I got this. The story behind it was I've got my other chainsaw, which is a 1982 or something or another chainsaw, but the throttle linkage broke. I needed to cut up a log for my dad, and I promised him I'd cut the log up, but then my chainsaw broke, so I felt bad. I felt, you know, not guilty, but just bad. So I went out and bought this, and what was the matter with it? What was the matter with it? I can't remember what the matter was with it now. Something was wrong with it. I think it was this. I had to get a new clutch cover thing because the brake and all that weren't working. It was all yeah, the brake just weren't working or whatever, so it was wrong with it. So I had to get a new one of them, and then we got it going and it ran very well. But that was a year ago, more than a year, somewhere like that. So let's see what happens. I don't know if it's got any petrol in it. We'll try and prime it. Oh, yep. It's got petrol in it. I don't think it's got a lot in it, mate. I don't think it's got a lot in it at all. Oh, it has. It's got quite a lot. Alright, that'll do. That'll do. Hopefully it's got train oil in it. I think I've filled that up to the brim. I don't think this one leaks. No, it's got plenty of chain oil in there. That don't leak. And the other one leaks out all the time. But this one don't leak. So, right. One more prime for good luck. That's the choke. Out it comes. And see what happens, shall we? Oh, it's got a lot of compression, this one. Oh, I've taken the choke off. Silly me. Didn't mean to do that. Have I taken the choke off? Oh, there it is. That's the choke. I took it off when I pressed the throttle. I took it off. Whee! Oh yeah. That'll be bad. Oh dearie me.
Roll this one.
Brake works well, revs up well. Yeah, proper good saw, this one. Just don't think that's not the right, it might be the right one. I don't think that's the right bar guard for it, or whatever you want to call it. I call them bar guard, but I don't think that's the right one. I would like to get the right one for it. It might be the right one, but it just don't seem to fit properly. But there we go. Let's see what else I can find. That's the other chainsaw. The throttle linkage is like a plastic all-in-one linkage. Hopefully I haven't lost it. I think I put it somewhere safe, but that safe place, I've forgotten where it is. But yeah, I need a new one. This is all perfectly fine. I repaired this chainsaw 100%. It's a mint working chainsaw. There's nothing wrong with it. A new chain on it, a lot. It's just a shame that linkage snapped. I tried to glue it, but the glue it's just not. Yes, I did try to glue it and all that, but the way that it works, it's just, well, you could say the glue's not good enough, whatever you want to say, I don't know, but it didn't work anyway. So I need to try and find a new linkage. When I eventually come across one, I'll have another working chainsaw, and then, you know, they'll be incorporated in the videos, because it runs well, this one. It's from the 1982 or something like that. Anyway, see what else I can find at a start-up. Now let's see if the Project SGS Strimmer wants to start. Now this one, for those of you that aren't familiar, it's an SGS 26cc Strimmer. I found it on, I think it was eBay. The intention was, at the time, my dad was having a bit of trouble with his Strimmer that he needs to use to keep some stinging nettles and all that at bay in one of their fields. And he was having a bit of trouble at the time with his one. And I was looking for parts for that, and I come across this for sale. And it said, I can't remember exactly what it said. Some of you that watched the video when I bought it to get it running might remember what the problem was, but I think it was something to do with it wouldn't run or something like that. I think it wouldn't. I don't know anyway, but we got it running, we put it together, got it running. It doesn't have a Strimmer head, so I put that like a wire wall thing on it just so I could use it, because I wanted to give that a go anyway. It turned out to be crap, so ignore that. But it ran, but it was obvious that it was listed as mint condition, used once, I think. I think it did say used once, but it was very clear that it's been used a lot more than once. You know, that's sort of just, it's had a lot of use. This is all worn away, very heavily worn. The engine is very dirty, and the air filter's broken. You know, it's had a lot more than one use. Now, I haven't actually used it. If you remember, I think I got it to run and then put that on it with the intention of going out and giving it a test, but never did. And then I also felt bad because I bought this with the intention of giving it to my dad. Buy it, get it running, so he's got a good working Strimmer, give it to my dad, so he's got a reliable Strimmer. Didn't work out that way. So I've ended up with it still here. It's about a year later. I think it was more than a year probably. I think it was 2020, might have been 2019. I think it was 2019 when I bought this. So more than a year. And it's been sat here ever since because I couldn't get it to be a good Strimmer. But anyway, we've got petrol in it. It hasn't evaporated. So let's see if it'll run. Now, as I said, I can't genuinely remember. It hasn't got an automatic choke thing. I can't genuinely remember what the problem was with it and why I didn't actually get it commissioned and to run properly, but we'll find out. So that's on, that's stop. Right, we haven't got a primer. Oh, we have got a primer, there's a primer. Let's give it a prime. Plenty of primage. Right, we're on. What way is the bloody choke? I'll tell you the truth, I don't bloody know. I think that's on, that's off. Right, here we go then. Let's see what happens. Right, they've got little holes there for the Allen screws. Don't know whether you can see that. Let's get you round so you can see that. Right, so the whole exhaust is in here, but they've luckily provided, even though these are made in China, they've thought about it and they've got little holes there so that you can get your Allen keys in there to do it up. It must be a common thing, they come loose, so stick that in there. Oh, that's well loose. Well loose there, Johnny boy. That's looser than loose can be. Right, so stick that in there. Like that. Tighten that up. Hopefully they're not stripped out. Because if that could be why it's loose, because it's been come off in the past, and the idiot that had it before, the one that ragged the hell out of it, over tightened them perhaps and stripped them out. But we'll have a look. They seem to be tightening up alright. Now the key is with exhaust bolts, don't do them up mega tight, because when it gets hot all the metal will expand, and if you've already got them up really tight, you can strip threads or snap the bolts. You can crack things, you know. So it's always best with anything that gets hot, like anything on an engine, specifically exhaust bolts, don't grunch them right up when the engine's cold. Yeah, do them up reasonably tight, ideally to a torque spec if you've got it, but if you haven't, I don't go by torque specs either. I just go by what it feels like. So yeah, do it up enough and see what happens, and see if it still leaks or rattles around once it warms up. But anyway, let's give it another start. Now I've done that up, and see if the rattle's gone. Switch that to on and see what happens. Massive wire wheel thing on the end, and it's got quite a lot of it's quite heavy. It's very unbalanced as well, but it's quite heavy, so that's why I gave it a long rev then, because I wanted it to work on this engine. I wanted to see if it was going to speed up or if it was going to bog down or something, and it seems to be alright. You know, it runs alright, doesn't it? Petrol cap there's broken, the air filter's broken, but we can get things like that for it. And all I need to do is go along and find, I need to go to SGS. I think they were quite expensive, that's why I didn't get it. I think it was about 30 odd quid just for the strimmer head, so I can put the strimmer on and make it into a strimmer again. And I weren't willing to invest 30 quid into it, but now that it runs alright, and I know that it's okay, I might invest in that, and then we'll have a nice working strimmer. Yeah, don't mind these SGS ones. It's just a shame they're made in China. I thought they were made in England, but they're not. The ye old Hedge trimmer, that was alright in the end. I left it ticking over there for about 5 or 6 minutes, It warmed up nicely, gave it a nice rev, and it was perfectly fine. So there's nothing wrong with that anymore. I don't bog down or anything, so we're all good there. Love that. So there we go, you lot. I hope you enjoyed joining me on an unusually warm November's evening while I started up a few things. Like I said, I just needed to start up that edge trimmer, really, because I've got a little job for it, probably next weekend. But so I needed to make sure that it was going to work. But while I was at it, let's start up a few more things, eh? Why not? There's other stuff I need to start up, really, to make sure it's all good and dandy. 'Cause it don't, leaving engines sitting around don't do them any good. But don't go panicking, you lot, about this E10 crap, because I think Super, 99 octane is about 10p a litre more expensive than ordinary premium 97% octane. So, don't go buying the Supers just because you think, oh no, the E10's going to destroy everything. It's not, it's just, the news, the media, and all that kind of stuff is just scaremongering, okay? So it's not going to do anything. If you've got a car, an old car, it's not going to do nothing. Yeah, like I say, there's countries that run, all them other countries that run E10 and more and higher, they're probably laughing at us panicking about all this kind of stuff, because you just deal with it. Those of you that are old enough to remember when leaded petrol was replaced with unleaded, everybody panicked. Probably I weren't old enough to remember that, but from what I can understand, everybody panicked and said, and started having, arguments and all sorts of stuff and protests and all that bollocks. But at the end of the day, what happened? Nothing. You deal with it, don't you? If you have to modify your car, you modify it. If you don't, you just carry on with life. So when it comes to cars, small engines like these ones, chainsaws, lawnmowers, motorbike, dirt bikes, all that kind of stuff, generators, don't worry about it. Obviously, just keep checking your fuel lines. If they look like they're getting a bit perished and leaking, just replace them for new ones. And when you go down the shop to buy a new line, make sure you get one that's compatible with the either E10 or it's just ethanol compatible. A lot of them would just say ethanol resistant or something of that nature. So just do that, and carry on with life. That's all it will do. If it is going to do anything, all it will do is just perish or eat away a little bit of petrol line or something like that, but it ain't going to be nothing too bad. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to burn more fuel now in order to get the same amount of power, because ethanol resists combustion, it resists fire, it resists being combusted anyway. So the more ethanol you got, the more resistant it is, the more of it you have to burn in order to get power. But it means you can run more higher compression and all that other crap as well. But none of you lot are probably interested in that. You're probably just worried about it destroying your carburetors and all that kind of stuff. It ain't going to do nothing like that, so carry on with life as you are, buying the same petrol, and just live life as happy and as dandy as possible, you lot, because that's what it's all about. Anyway, I'll catch you lot on the next one. Like I said, I've got another strimmer. You can probably see it up there on the side over there. You have to start that up to make sure that's all right. A few other bits and bobs, generators and bits and bobs like that need to be started up. And with any luck, there might be a massive, what can I say? I was going to say installment, but that's a wrong word. A massive addition to the family of engines that I currently possess in the next few months. With any luck, we'll have a look. We'll see what it's all about. You lot will probably enjoy it. I'll catch you on the next one. All the best. Live life happy and enjoy yourselves. Ciao for now, you lot. P.S. Stop listening to news, media, newspapers, and all the scaremongering about everything, and you'll be a lot happier. Trust me, because they're all idiots.